everybody, this is John and welcome to the free video. And what a crazy market in terms of it's I can count on one hand over the last like 20 years that I've seen this kind of a move, like I call it a V-shaped bottom. What that means is that the lows are not retested. There's not like a base building, it's just a V-shaped bottom, and then we just go on and on and on. Now, we actually haven't made new highs yet, but I mean, this, for all practical purposes, this market has taken out all key resistance levels. There's still some concerns, for example, XLE, the energy sector, still not participating. I mean, it was strong today, but in comparison to everything else, it's a little pathetic. There's a lot of things, too, that I'm going to be looking at in the premium video to make comparisons and take a look at it and everything like that too. And so the question becomes, okay, so what are the kind of trades that in this type of market, when you've got so many different kind of mixed signals, especially in the correlated assets, what kind of trades do you focus on? So a big part of this is looking for what I call stocks kind of doing their own thing, like independent of the indexes. So VRTX, not only has it had a good rally with some volume, but you can see there's a squeeze setting up. You can see the last squeeze here, I mean, just had this huge move from like 90 to almost 120. Now we're setting up another squeeze. You can see here that in terms of it's broken through all the trend lines. It's only at 2 ATR. That opens up a move to 121. So this is a stock that I like quite a bit. And then another one here, and it's not like I'm a huge fan of Pepsi. It's like I don't trade it that much, but in this kind of environment, it's like what are the stocks that are holding up really well, and they're actually setting up to continue moving higher. It's like, wow, look, you got a squeeze here. You're only at 1 ATR, and opens up the door to 97 there. And plus, there's a tree line here at 100, and this is something like it just has shown that in this kind of environment where there's some sectors that have not rallied with the market, whereas Pepsi's been just fine. But the other thing in this market, and I think that's the key with this, is understanding kind of money flow, but also this is a stock picking market where if you do everything just according 100% to the indexes, if you're like, okay, I'm 100% short and the indexes gap up 30 S&P points, that's not good. But if you're 100% long and the S&Ps gap down 30 S&P points, that's not good either. So I really like in this type of market looking for long candidates that have proven to kind of do their own thing, but at the same time short candidates. So this is a S fund. I think is that Pacific Sun? Oh no, SoFund Holdings. Okay, I was thinking of, but it's like, so the pattern here, of course, is one of distribution. And even with the markets being really strong, it hasn't been able to get out of its own way. And we've got a squeeze setting up here. And we're only at one average true range to the downside, which opens up the sort of, the move to $8.39. So it's not a huge stock, not a big thing, but this is something that has weekly options on it. And it's something that can be done, okay? And then there are also, of course, unique situations like this. So EXAS, this is one where I love this kind of stuff where it just has essentially no regard for the market. And this is the kind of stuff that no matter what the market is doing, even when the market was selling off, this thing was holding up just fine. And that's the kind of stuff, if I'm going to be long something, that I want to focus on. So one question I get a lot is just in terms of how do you find stocks? And I'm going to do a free webinar on Thursday, and you can go to this link, simplerstocks.com/scanner webinar. And this is essentially going to be on my favorite stock and options scanner. And the biggest thing I've found is that I will find the trades that I like, whether it's a turbo Porsche trade or something that's moved to the third ATR or something that's moved to a voodoo line, or looking for these nice continuation trades to the upside, or squeezes within a squeeze, which are fantastic. And all of these things, a lot of the classes that we've done teach you to recognize this when you see it. But the question is how do you search for it? Because I found that even with Radar Screen and TradeStation, you can do some of it, but not all of it. And with the scans and TOS, you can do some of it, but not all of it. And if you don't have TradeStation or Thinkorswim, what do you do? If you've got Schwab, or if you've got Scott Trader, if you've got Fidelity, are these things that you can even find? So this webinar is for essentially how to find the stuff, and whether you're doing it on TOS or TradeStation or Schwab or Scottrade, it doesn't really matter. It's just where is a centralized place where you can push a button and all this stuff will come up. Okay, so we'll be talking about how to scan all the major US exchanges and identify the most promising stocks to trade, how to look through thousands of stocks and apply the squeeze or waves, and actually multiple different things at the push of a button, how simple scans can be used to create steady winning trades for your trading account. Because that's one of the things that I found too, especially with the volatility that we've seen in this market, is that sometimes it's tempted to just focus on, what, I made all this money on Tesla, I'm going to keep trading Tesla. But really the stock is irrelevant. It's the setup. And it's having a trading plan and a scanner that helps you find the setup, because the setup represents a moment in time where everybody that's involved in that trade is agreeing on something that's going to end up being a high probability outcome, and those are the moments in time you want to find. It doesn't really matter what the stock is. And then what are the best time frames to use when narrowing down your list of daily stocks, and then of course learning about the most essential tool in my trading arsenal, which I'll talk about too on Thursday. Okay, so first name, email. Again, this is a free webinar. I'll just show you the tools that I use, and looking forward to seeing you on Thursday, which will be 8 o'clock East Coast time, which is 7 o'clock Central. See you then.